so let's get started. I've been looking forward to this since last year. It's been a year since I've seen you all.
I know.
All right, let's see here. What do we
Anyone want
have?
to kick us off here? Anyone have any questions? Oh, I see Johnny wrote in the chat. I'd like some guidance on an Apple desktop iMac that I'm looking to buy. Johnny, you want to unmute? Oh, there you are. Go ahead.
Yes.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Likewise.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Okay, so I've been just doing some investigating, and I've got iPhone and iPad, and I've had a Windows computer forever, ever. So I'm ready to take the plunge. And before I forget, I wrote some notes about my questions, but I forgot to write down. You can't believe everything you see when you Google stuff. So I saw a mention of Apple desktops, iMacs not needing oh shoot, you know, it's the virus protection. That's what it is. You know, that we always have to get.
Yeah.
Is that true or not?
So I know why whoever probably said it may have said it. But I do see and find viruses and malware on Mac computers as well. It's not that it cannot get it.
Okay.
It's just, so I'll answer both of your questions. I'll kind of talk you through on which Mac you should get. And then if anybody else is looking for a Mac, and you can even apply the same method that we're going to do for PC if you're looking for it. But as far as like PCs are more prone to viruses in the sense that the virus guys who are putting this stuff out, they're going after PCs because there are more PCs out there than Mac. Okay. Mac makes their hardware and their software, and they're very, very secure devices, because anytime you have to install something on the Mac, you have to put in the password or authenticate it. There are things that can go in on a Windows computer that does not have to be authenticated, and it can go in right through the back door. But in most cases, when I go to people's computers and they have some software on their Mac, I'm like, hey, did you download this and install it? Or they had someone log into their computer and they did just that. So yes, they can get it. And you can actually have the, ESET, I always talk about that virus protection that still is made for Mac. So if you want to have that extra layer of security, I would recommend still getting some virus and malware protection.
ESET, ESET?
ESET, correct, .com.
Okay.
And they have it for both Mac and PC. So yeah, they definitely can get it. It's a little bit harder, but it can get it. This is the first part of your question is when it comes down to getting a Mac, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Here. Okay. So just taking you right to the website. What I would normally do is just ask you a few questions like, hey, how do you use this? What do you intend to use it for? Mm-hmm. If you're going to be, just surfing the internet, surfing the web, pictures, things of that nature, just basic stuff. I would go with the basics. So if you're going to get the desktop, they only have the 24-inch for the Mac. They used to have a 27-inch and a 21.5.
Yeah.
Now they have the 24, and they have different versions of it.
Okay.
So you go here and you click on buy.
Yeah.
And just walking you through it. The only difference between this guy that's $12.99 and $14.99 is you get a Ethernet port. But if you're just going to be connected to Wi-Fi, I think you could still be okay. This just gives you more ports, if you will.
That would be if I decided to go back to cable.
Not cable, but like an actual Ethernet. So if you wanted to plug into your internet, if your modem, then you would actually get an Ethernet. port. It's a big telephone looking port, but most people are on Wi-Fi. So even then, I think you will be okay with number one.
So is that what the 7 core refers to, that Ethernet port?
No, it's actually this thing right here. It's called the Gigabit Ethernet. So
Yeah.
this one is lacking it. That's why they have the 2 spaces there.
Got it.
Because if you want that, that just means that you don't have to connect to your internet wirelessly. You can connect wirelessly and via Ethernet, which is like a cord directly from your modem right into your computer.
But what about that 3 ports that's not over there too?
So what these are on the back, and I'll just show you. Let me just show you here. So on the back of this device here, you see how you have these 2 little ports at the bottom left?
Yes.
That gives you 2 USB-Cs. We're used to the USB-A. They're kind of bigger, but most computers are coming with the Cs now. USB-C. So if you have that USB-C, I would say that if that's something that you think you would have to spend an extra $200 for, I would say once you buy this one for $12.99, I can guide you to a place on Amazon where you can get this thing, we call it a dongle, where you can plug it into one and it gives you 3 more of those ports if you need it.
Oh, okay.
And that'll be like $25-$30. And I think you will be
as opposed to 200. Okay.
Exactly.
I don't even, I'm sure I don't, with my computer that I have,
Yeah.
the Microsoft using one is older, is probably about 5 years old. So I'm sure I don't have that USB-C.
Yeah, and you probably don't. This is very new. And so no matter what, I would still recommend you probably getting a dongle because it'll allow you to plug in with the USB-A. So if you got an older printer or an older iPhone cable, anything with that old school USB, and I say old school like it's super old, people are still using it today. I have a bunch in my house. But this is just the new USB-C ports. So you can still get that dongle, and they're about, $20 on Amazon. And once you get that for the Mac, I think this one right here will be a nice computer for you, the base model.
Would that dongle thing allow an easier transfer of my documents from this old computer to that different one?
It just depends on where you take it. If you, I wouldn't need a cord at all to do a data transfer. There's ways to do it via cloud. You could do it via cable. It just depends on how much data that you have. But if you have a backup drive or something like that, that dongle, I think it's just, you should get one just in case, but that should be sufficient.
I don't have a backup drive. I think I should get one. Everybody, from listening to you, it sounds like everybody should have one. Yeah,
absolutely. And if you need it, or do a cloud backup, but if you're gonna do this, make sure, if you're doing this transfer yourself, or go to the Apple store and get it done if you don't have a tech person to do it, but you want to make sure you get all your information over there in a proper way.
Yeah. My problem is that I'm in a smaller town. The closest Apple store is about 47 miles away, and taking this computer over.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm probably going to try to transfer the data myself. But I was told that you could buy special little flash drives too that will handle it over to that USB-C.
Yeah, you do. If you buy a flash drive now, they'll come with both ports. The newer ones, they'll come with a USB-C port and USB-A, so that you can use both to transfer from one to the other. Yeah, you can definitely do that.
That might help. I got some stuff in iCloud, but not everything, because I didn't want to use it all up.
That's it's an easy way to transfer everything over, even if you upped your space just for this transfer for 1 month, and then transfer it over, then downgrade again.
Yep.
So yeah, that base model for $12.99, I think that will be sufficient for you, Johnny.
Okay, now, did that one I didn't notice, did it have 256 or 512?
256. If you want to go to 512, that's gonna
I
be,
don't know if I need.
yeah.
That's one of my questions for you.
That I wouldn't be able to answer only because I don't know how much things you have on your computer. I think 256 is good for a lot of people, but nowadays, if you got a lot of pictures and videos, I would opt for the 512 just so you have a little bit more wiggle room in there. You can grow into the computer versus be capped at 256, and that's it.
Might be better if 512. They, the companies keep making stuff that takes up more and more space, right?
Yeah, well, things, yeah, there are things that are just like, higher quality pictures as the iPhone gets them wise. So yeah, I would go with the 512 just so you can have some runway and to grow into the computer.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's all my questions. Thank
Okay,
you.
awesome. You're very welcome.
Well, that website for that dongle.
That is gonna be Amazon. I would just,
Oh,
all you have
okay.
to do is type in Mac dongle, DONGLE.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great, Julius, we're gonna take one more question in the chat and then we'll get to some of the raised hands. I know
Okay.
Diane B asked, how can I get my contacts back from my iPhone XR? Diane, are you there?
Yes, I am. You
Hey,
hear me?
Diane.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
All right,
So-
I think I messed up or did something this morning.
Yeah.
And on my contacts, my address that's on my XR, I'm going in there now and I see iCloud,
Mhm.
and then I see iCloud 478, and then a neighbor's name with nothing. And
Yeah.
I just want to get the list back of what I had on my address list.
All your contacts.
Yeah.
Tap on iCloud 478.
Okay, wait a minute. Well, wait, oh, yes. I just did.
There you go.
Okay, so how do I, if I wanted, it's there. Okay.
Yeah.
So now it says lists and then it says iCloud and then it has my name, of course. How do I, if I go into, if I go into my contact list again, won't it just go to lists or?
No, so what this list thing is, and when we have an iPhone class, I'll probably address it in more depth. It's very new. A lot of people have been asking over the years, how does one make a group contact list to send out group emails on their iPhone? And before this update with iOS 16, you were not able to do that from the phone. You can go and create that list on your computer or something, and then it will carry over to the phone. But now they're giving us the ability to create groups, or in Apple's case, they call them lists. So when you see all your contacts and you tap on list at the top left, then it takes you to a point where you can create a list, and that list will allow you to create this group list that you can email. So let's say you hang out with the girls on Friday and you guys have a card game and you've been emailing them separately or always putting them in a group. You can just create that list and just call it the Friday group, right? And then when you go on email, you type in, instead of all of their names, you type in Friday. And then as soon as you type in FR, you'll start to see Friday group, and then everything will pre-populate in there. And you can email them that. So your contacts are there, but you were just in the list side of things.
Yeah. Oh, I know. So I can't be put back into the contact part of it. Is that what you're saying?
No, you actually are. So once in the list, if you're seeing list at the top left, you're in the right place, because now you see all your contacts.
I do. It's
and
there.
and you'll continue to see that unless you tap on list. So I would just stay in that world where you are right now, because going left will allow you to create lists, and you're not trying to create lists right
No,
now.
I don't want to do that right now. Also, the last question is, where can I get a good, I guess you're not allowed to say, maybe a good trade-in at either, your provider for your telephone or for the Apple?
Oh, no,
Were you-
I could tell you. I mean, based on experience, like with clients that I see, some of them are getting good deals at Apple, some of them getting at their carrier. I would compare both and just say,
Okay.
hey, what would you give me for this to see what you'll get back, you know?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Diane. My pleasure.
Great, and then Positive Pat, if you want to unmute, we'll go to you next. There we go.
Okay, hi, how you doing?
I'm great, Positive Pat. How are you?
Okay, I wanted to know, like my mail icon, the little envelope icon,
Yes.
be at the bottom,
Mhm.
plus it disappeared. So how do I get it back there? I
Okay.
went and got the email back, got the emails back. It's set up a little bit differently because I had to go to Outlook.
So you're using the mail icon, not Outlook, correct?
No, I use well, to get my emails back, I went to because I went to Hotmail.
Okay, got it. Here, let
But to
me
get
I'm
my
gonna
emails back. I
share-
mean, Google was there. It's always been there, but I really don't use it.
I see. Here, let me share this screen with you and tell me if this sort of looks familiar to your screen. All right, so are you able to see this bottom little dock? The taskbar says like 76. You have the weather over here.
Yes,
I'm not trying to make you people who are up north feel bad. I'm sorry, but it
That's
is
not-
76 and it
okay.
is beautiful down here today. So 76, and then you have to the right of that, you see the little start menu.
yeah, I see it on yours.
Okay, yeah, and so I just want you to follow me on mine so you can then do it on yours. So here, if you have this start menu, if yours is where the 76 degrees is, it's fine. You can click on it and then click on you can go and type in mail or just type it in. And then once you see it, you can click on it. Now your mail should open. And then you want to right click over that envelope on the taskbar and then choose to pin it to taskbar.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then it'll stay so that when you close this out, like if I X out, you'll notice now my mail icon is staying down there. You see that?
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. That's what you'll have to do, Pat.
All right. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, Mariana, if you want to unmute. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Julie, if you could, hi, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
You can go back, could you go back to that Apple link again?
Sure.
There's a small Apple computer there. I think it's compact. I don't know what they call it, that you can attach to a monitor or something.
Oh
That's-
yeah. Yeah.
What
you're
is that?
talking about
Could you tell me
the-
more about that?
Yeah, so the Mac Mini, funny, I just hooked up one today for someone. I rarely see him, but here, let me show you all. So the Mac Mini has been around for a long time, and a lot of people don't know about the Mac Mini. They usually just go for the regular Mac. So can everyone see my screen here?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me just blow this up a little bit so you could see it even bigger. So you have the MacBook Air, which is a lightweight laptop, essentially MacBook Pro, still lightweight, just a little bit heavier. That's more for people who are just gonna do a little bit more for creatives or who just need a little bit more power. The iMac 24-inch we were just talking about. This Mac Mini, if you already have a screen, right? Then you can actually just get this Mac Mini. It's a little computer, like how people used to just buy a tower. Mac never really just had the tower by itself. I mean, they do, but that's the Mac Pro, and nobody on this call, not even myself, would need that. But the Mac Mini, this little guy right here, new guts, more glory. It's a very fast device. It's cheaper than everything else because they don't have to make the screen. They just give you this little box. And this box here will connect to a monitor that you already have. And so what you get with it, if you look at this here, let's just say select for, let's go with the $8.99 for the 512 gigabytes.
Mhm.
You can customize that, but all of these different things, what's in the box, this is all you're getting, the Mac Mini and the power cord. So you'll still have to get the keyboard. I thought at one point they were giving that out as well, but that Mac Mini is essentially just like any other Mac. You're just buying the guts. That's it, and you use your own monitor.
Could you attach it to an older Mac computer? And that would be the computer instead, that little mini would be the computer? Could you do that?
I do know that at some point in time, Mac was allowing another Mac to connect to another Mac and use it as a dual screen.
Mhm.
Could you connect this to another Mac? I remember I had to see both screens and go into the guts of both of them, the software, in order to do it. I've never hooked this up to another Mac because essentially both of them are Mac computers. It's not
Yeah.
just a monitor. So I'm not sure how that could work without seeing and setting it up first to do it. But normally I always hook these up to just the base
The
model,
basic model.
monitor. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And one more thing, do you know
Yes.
how to get the phone icon back on the smartphone for one of the modules, like a UMC phone? Do you know how to
Wait,
get the
what ti-
little emblem back?
wait, what type of phone?
It's a UMC, one of those Android Windows one. It's one of those cheap phones they give you at T-Mobile or something.
Okay, what I would say is if the phone icon, normally you can't delete the phone icon if it's
No,
got
it's
or hidden. What you could do is like as you're on that phone, imagine this is it here. If you kind of swipe, let me just see myself. If you like swipe down from like this part of the phone, not totally at the top, but just a little bit, then you should be, I mean, actually, I take that back. From the top, and then you should be able to get to the apps. And then from the apps, just search for phone.
Mhm.
And when you search for phone, it should show you all your
Yeah,
apps.
yeah. But I
And
thought
then-
it fast paced, to get easy access. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but then once you do that, once you find that phone app, you will press and hold it and add it back to the home screen.
Oh,
Way
okay.
it'll always be there for you. So go to all of the apps and you may be able to even see that without doing what I just told you. It's just a quicker way. And then once you go to all the apps and you see the phone app, just press and hold it. And then it should give you another option to add it to the home screen.
Yeah, because my mother did that to her phone. I couldn't figure out how to put that.
It happens all the time.
I couldn't figure out how to do it. I was looking at
Yeah.
the thing, but it just wasn't working. So I'll try that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, and Helen B had asked in the chat, do you recommend using private relay on Apple devices?
Oh, that's interesting. Is that Helen, you said?
Yes, Helen B, if you want to unmute.
Yes, yes, Julius.
Oh, hey, Helen. So do you know how the private relay works?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's a really good question. So let me I want to actually bring this up so I can show people. Okay, so let me share my screen with you all. There's two new things that just came in Apple, not in this last update, but I think it was last year, or it could have been a year before. I can't remember, but that's one of the two. So let me show you all this, what she is speaking about. All right, Zoom, and here we go. I am in my system settings. Can you all see my system settings? And I'm on private relay.
Yes.
Yes.
And hang on, let me actually share. I want to share both screens. Let me just share my whole desktop so I can go back and forth. So I'm working on the latest operating system, Ventura. There are two things. This private relay and hide my email. One of them I use a lot, the other one I don't. And it's not to say that one of the other one is bad, but what this is, a private relay, I'll just read it and I'll explain it. iCloud Private Relay keeps your internet activity private. It hides your IP address and browsing activity in Safari and protects your unencrypted internet traffic so that no one, including Apple, can see both who you are and what sites you're visiting. Without access to your IP address, some websites may require extra steps to sign in or access content, okay? So what a private relay is, it's essentially like, and I'll go back in there, it's like a, kind of like a VPN, right? A virtual private network. It's masking your IP address. So let's say you go to, we'll use, trying to think of a website. Let's say you go to recipes.com. We'll use that for the sake of the argument. And when you go to recipes.com and you don't have private relay on, they know your IP address. But the next time you turn it on, they say, well, we don't know who you are. They may, like, maybe you had a login with it and they can't see you. They may have you authenticate a little bit more, sign in a little bit more. It may create a couple of steps. Same thing with a VPN. I like VPNs. I know that, you know, I know what they're supposed to do. Sometimes, like a gentleman in one of my group workshops at Ibis Club the other day, he said, oh, I can't see certain things on here. I saw the VPN from a mile away. Even before he asked me his question, I just noticed at the top. And I said, well, did you notice you started having these problems when you added your VPN? He said, that must be it. So the VPN sometimes, although it's secure, it's masking your IP address, and some websites and some apps may say, well, we don't even know who you are. So that's like coming into this group workshop and Helen will take her name and just call it no name, and she has a ski mask on. And we're like, hey, can you please identify yourself? So that's what that relay is. And it could be a good thing and a bad thing. So just be cognizant of it. The second part of it, which I actually like this and I do use it. This is the hide my email. So what this does is, Apple gave this ability, keep your personal email address private by creating a unique random address that forwards to your personal inbox and can be deleted at any time. What that means is, it's just like essentially, let's say, again, using that same example with Helen, Helen comes here to this class, but then she has her assistant sitting in her seat and Helen's off to the side. And she gives her questions to the assistant. The assistant then asks me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I never really get to the real Helen, because at the very moment that I want to, you can cut me off. So a lot of the times, if you all sign up for Bed Bath & Beyond, right? And then you sign up for all of these different websites. And then next thing you know, your email is looking like my mother's email, which is a bunch of junk in there. And she always asks me how to delete all of these emails. So she can't, they got her real email address. With this, Apple's saying that if you want to give out an email address, we'll create a fictitious email on your behalf. It'll still forward over to you. But instead of hitting unsubscribe, unsubscribe, all you have to do is just say, kill this email that we have connected to this website, and you'll never get another email again. That's what that is. So those are the two new features that Apple offered us.
So
For
Julius, if you use hide my email
Mhm.
and you want somebody to respond to your email, it's better off not to use that, right?
Yeah, because then in that case, I would use hide my email when it comes down to businesses and signing up for certain things. If you like, you know, it's a free coupon, 20% off here and there, you don't want to give your real email, want to cut them off. But if it's like you and I, you're like, hey, I'm gonna actually talk to Julius one day, give him your real email. and don't do the hide my email thing.
Okay, so does that mean that I activate hide my email when I sign up, like say for Bed Bath and Beyond? I activate hide my email when I'm signing up for that site.
Exactly.
And like I put in my real email, but it's going to hide it. And then I deactivate it if I want to continue people seeing my email.
Yeah, exactly. When you're going to sign up for something, Apple will say, hey, would you like to hide your email? And then you have that ability. Now they're pretty much doing that on your behalf, but so they'll hide your email and then you could tell it, it'll request or ask you if you wanted to do that, but you never put in your real email. They'll ask you, should we put in an email for you on your behalf? And then you just say yes. And then you go through the steps.
Okay, good. Thank you, Julius.
All right, you're very welcome.
All right, well, speaking of emails, Anita wrote in, I have an iPhone 13 and an iPad, and I have to separately delete my emails. The phone rings on both, but the emails don't delete on both. How can I do this?
Looking for Anita. Where are you, Anita?
I should be on there.
Yep.
Oh,
With the-
okay. Yeah, I see you with the sunset there. Okay, so Anita, what's your what's your email address at? Is it a Yahoo, a Gmail, or Bell South?
No, it's at Comcast.net.
Okay. So if you have your email on both devices, but you have to continue to delete them separately, what I'm going to assume without seeing both of your devices is that you have what we call a POP email. And what POP does, you have two different types of emails. You have POP, P-O-P, and you have IMAP, I-M-A-P. What POP does is, for instance, so you have Comcast up here, Comcast.net. If I send you an email address and you log into Comcast.net, you'll get to see my email address, right? And then on your phone, you'll get to see my email address. And then on your iPad, you'll get to see my email address. But when you delete from Comcast.net or one of the other devices, it won't delete on the other devices because what POP does is it keeps it in the same place where it's at. It'll download the new emails, but it doesn't sync across, which is why I like IMAP over POP. And whenever you delete on one, it deletes everywhere. From the server, it deletes on the devices, deletes from the iPad, deletes from both of these other places. So I would say that if you, if you want to get some help, like from the store, you can go on to maybe the nearest Apple store or maybe your phone carrier store, or even reach out to Comcast themselves and see if one of their techs could walk you through on how to get an IMAP account set up. You may have to, it may be as simple as just signing out, removing that account, and then just signing back in. And then everything should be in sync when you re-sign in, because now they do have IMAP. I've set it up multiple times for people, but the POP is an old school way of doing things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, let's go with the two hands up, Beverly, and then we'll go to John, and then Rose will answer your question. So Beverly, if you want to unmute, there you go.
Yeah,
Thanks, Beverly.
I have right now I have an Android. I'm thinking about switching my cell phone to an iPhone.
Nice.
Will I be able to get all my data over there?
Yes, are you planning to do the data transfer yourself?
No.
Okay, where are you gonna, if you go to the Apple store, they should be able to help you out.
Okay.
Tips on that, just what I recommend for anybody, I don't care if you're going to Android to Android, iPhone to Android, Android to iPhone, always ensure that you write down what you want and do not leave the store unless you get everything that you stated that you want. And I say this, yes, go ahead.
Can you give me an example of what you mean?
So like, for instance, photos, emails, any type of things that are on that phone. So when it comes down to Android switching over to iPhone, it's an easy transition. And like, for instance, let's say you have the Zoom app on your Android and you want on your iPhone. You can't transfer that. It's literally just, it's meant for an Android. You just re-download that app on an iPhone. So
Okay,
there's no need to transfer. You just go get the brand new guide made for the iPhone environment.
okay.
But photos, those things can be transferred. So
They
you want
Okay.
to say, hey, I want to make sure to use the right transfer. So usually when it comes down to that, Apple's usually pretty good at about, switching over that information and putting it in the right place. So you're thinking about this, you're moving from one place to another place. You have everything in the master bedroom, it needs to go in the master bedroom, not in the guest bedroom, in the master. So you
So
want to ensure that all of those things are going into the right place, because sometimes people will come and I'll see what happened and I'm like, what did they do to your phone? And they're like, yeah, I thought it was right. So just make sure that they do it right, because sometimes you make it a novice.
Well, all the photos that I now have in the cloud,
Yeah.
will I be able to still get them?
Certainly, if you have the right, go there with the right credentials. So make sure that you have, if you're using Google Photos as your cloud, make sure that you have the sign in and everything is working, because
Okay.
they can bring all of those photos right down from the cloud onto the new device.
Okay. So it's better to go to Apple than, let's just say, to go to my carrier like Verizon and have them do it.
I would say both of them are good. Okay, just to be frank, like it's either or. You need to get a good person, because everybody thinks that when you go into a Verizon store, because they have a Verizon shirt on, they know everything about Verizon and phones and everything. Trust me, folks, it's not the case. And I'm
I
not
believe
knocking
you.
these people. I just do a lot of cleanup work, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel so sorry for you that you had to go through this, but let me do it the right way. Same thing with Apple. Not everybody with an Apple logo on their shirt is the best thing since sliced bread. So just ensure, and you don't have to hover, but hover and just make sure that they're doing their job right and they get all your.
Well, thank you. I know what to look for now. I want all my photos. Will they also transfer my texts?
That I don't know if they'll be able to do, because when you're going from an Android to an iPhone, I'm not sure if that's there. I do know that maybe about 5 years ago, Apple just started doing it with their own devices, where you can bring over all your text now, and then they'll have it. But you'll at least you'll have your contacts, and you can kind of start those conversations again. But maybe
Yeah.
it
I have-
is there. Yeah.
I have some pictures in some of my texts that I would like to keep. So I don't know if I can do it.
Just start saving those pictures to your photos. So you
Okay.
can go to those individual messages,
Okay.
saving those photos, and then they'll go up to the cloud.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome, Beverly.
All right, John, if you want to unmute. You're still, oh, there we
Hey,
go.
there you
Hello.
go, John. Hey,
Hey, how you doing, Julius?
I'm great.
Julius, I got this Mac Air computer about 3 months ago, and everything is working on it good, except I had a problem on my contacts on the Mac Air. They don't seem to be getting the ones from the iCloud, whereas they're on both this phone that I'm talking to you through now and my iPad. So there is something maybe that I have to do to the Mac Airbook to pick up the iCloud contacts.
Yeah, so have you signed into your iCloud on the Mac?
Yes.
Okay. Did you check mark the contacts on there? So here, I'll show you my screen here.
Okay.
And walk you through. So this is
Sure.
essentially what needs to be done. So I am going to my system settings. This used to be called system preferences, but they changed everything. So system settings, I'll
Okay,
go to
I'm
my
there.
Apple ID at the very top, and then my iCloud. And you
iCloud,
see
okay.
my contacts are ticked on.
Okay, yeah, the contacts are clicked on my computer, yeah.
Okay, so if they're on there, that's great. Now you can go to your contacts, which is this guy here. Okay, so I just opened up my contacts on, I have it right here on the bottom.
Right,
And then so here, I usually, if you want to go up to now contacts at the top left near the black apple, and you go to the settings, right up at the top left, once you clicked on contacts,
oh, okay, got that.
and then you can just ensure that you have a check mark next to where it says enable this account.
Okay, show me where that is again.
That's right here.
Okay, I'm looking at something, it says general at the top. Is yours say general?
Yeah, go to the next one that says accounts.
Oh, accounts, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's checked, enable this account.
So if those two are enabled and you don't see iCloud contacts in here,
Where? Yeah.
in your contacts app, if you don't see those contacts here, I would say, yeah, possibly check. Do you not see it in the contacts at all? Where it says iCloud?
No, it doesn't. What I've got in the, in that app is all contacts, all on my Mac, and then an untitled group.
Yeah, I would say maybe signing out of your iCloud and signing back in, because if you just indicated that it's enabled, as well as you have your iCloud signed into it, those things should be on there. It just can't. I would sign out of iCloud and sign back in.
Sign out of iCloud on the computer.
Yes, and right in system settings.
Okay,
And then you can actually and sign back in, and then just
Okay.
tell it you want your contacts.
I'll give that a try. Thanks a lot.
All right, you're welcome.
If it doesn't work, I'll catch you on the next call.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you
Right.
again.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, and then Rose, I know you have a few questions, but her first question was, I have gotten a notice on my phone saying Microsoft OneDrive is about to be deleted. Your OneDrive is about to be deleted. It tells me to sign into OneDrive to reactivate it. Is this a real notice? If so, how do I do it, or is it spam?
That doesn't sound real to me. I would love to see it. I have never seen anybody get a message from OneDrive, but before I have just be a matter of fact and just say, no, it's fake. You can always forward that over to me or Ashley, and so we can see it. And then I could be able to tell you, but it does not sound real because OneDrive could care less if you haven't used their stuff. I have a OneDrive that I barely use and I've never gotten a message from them.
Okay, because I don't want to, sign into something and then have it really mess up my,
Yeah, don't sign in. Like if you want to go to, if you don't even know if you have a OneDrive, forget about the message. But you can also, again, send it right over to us and I'll be able to tell you if that's a real email or not.
okay, so what, forward it?
Yeah, forward it over to, you can forward it over to hello@nerdalert.com.
That works too.
Okay, I don't see a way to do it on here. It doesn't have a forward.
Do you see an arrow on that email? Like an arrow that's pointing to the right?
Yes,
All right, click on that. That's
it's
probably
actually to the left.
that's a reply. Do you have something else like another error? If it's pointing to the
I
left,
have one that goes up and one that goes down.
let's go, well, up and down. Maybe is that going to the next message or?
It went to the next message.
Yeah, because then there should be 1, 2 going either in opposite directions, left and right.
Because it says this email was sent from an unmonitored mailbox. you are receiving this email because you have a Microsoft OneDrive account. And I had no, oh, wait a minute. On the bottom of my phone, now I see a forward.
Okay,
Okay, forward to hello.
yes, hello@nerdalert.com.
Okay. Come on, fingers. Okay, and then I just send it, right?
Yes.
Okay, I hope I did it.
All right. Let's see. Yep, you did it. So let's see here. And your email is the KD7?
7IOB@yahoo.com.
Okay. So let's see here.